Welcome back to the Emergency Power Podcast. This is episode 2. You've made it through the week. Come on in, pull up a chair, grab a drink, and enjoy. Welcome. Also, side note, my kitten, Tundra, wanted to add their own little personal touch to the intro. So they jumped up on the keyboard and they started typing it up just for you guys. So let me see if I can do this for you as originally intended.
Suddenly, non-Euclidean space erupts behind Adam. Count Tindalos rips through his reality, and it's the cat's fault.
This is suddenly a Call of Cthulhu game.
It's like playing E minor over and over again.
Just a hard turn to horror. And since this cat just absolutely loves attacking my feet, like the runic symbols and stuff will be drawn in my blood. So this will be a monster of my own creation.
So I somewhat expected you to actually type something out for the cat, just knowing how much you love animals, but I'm like, nah, that would have been...
Or like a screen cap share with like Exhibit A of
yes,
Demon Cat.
Your cat literally trying to do this with the keyboard.
Yeah, maybe for the video version, when I do the noise of it, I'll just put across the screen, just like expanding out.
You know that now that you've disclosed that you have a cat, you are obliged to post pictures, which will be on the Emergency Power Network Twitter, at Emergency PWR Pod.
Oh, you locked
Adam
me
didn't
in.
know this yet, but now he has
Look at
to.
the cute little paws. It cannot possibly be an eldritch horror.
No,
is this
it would
monkey?
never. There's no blood on that white fur.
Oh, it's a white cat?
It is a startlingly white cat, but has this little patch of black just right on the head.
Oh,
It's
pretty great.
really cute. It's just, you know what?
Oh, there we go.
I have the cat.
That's
this is
what our
Tundra.
viewers came to see. Oh, it's like a little charcoal smudge.
yeah.
It's adorable.
Thank you for your contributing to the podcast, Tundra. I love you. And now I have white, just literally all of them. Cool.
That will be our most popular guest star ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to introduce him as an actual character. Just hold him up in the screen in front of me and just be like,
Let's do it. I'm so down for that.
Dude, Tundra is a pretty good, evil boss name. That sounds good.
Tundra. So, Adam, you gotta tell me, because we play in another game,
We do.
and you have another pet in that game named Tundra. Is there a connection there?
What? Yeah, so I'm in this campaign with Jeff, and we're kind of trading off as DM. He runs one team, I run another, and they're just in the same universe. And I play a android who is also he's got a wolf head, and so
He's
he's
a Vlakan.
a Valakin, thank you
yeah.
very much. But he also has love for one of the most adorable creatures in Starfinder, which is the Squawks, which is a squirrel fox put together, and
Nice.
he has this jacket that inside of it has a carrier for Tundra the Squawks. So when we went to get a second cat, because we have a first cat, which is a black cat, we wanted a white cat to kind of complement them.
The yin and yang.
How big is it?
The yin and yang.
Not the cat. How big is the squirrel fox things?
They are tiny, so they're
Okay.
House cat sized.
Yeah, small house cat size, kind of like that one.
Got it.
And we were trying to think of names for it, but Snowball is too common, and think what's a fun name, and then my significant other looks over and is like, what about Tundra? And I'm like, why didn't I think of that at all?
You already had the pet named Tundra in
Right?
our game.
Yes.
But it just didn't occur to me. So yeah, now that Squawks is gonna take on strange personality traits that it didn't have before, like attacking my feet, for example.
Excellent.
He's adorable. And he's got the little tiniest and he's got a huge purring engine. So he lays on your lap, you put your hand on it, and it sounds like a 747's flying over the house.
Oh.
Yep. He's
wonderful.
all the appropriate standard equipment for a cat. Sounds like you're ready to move
Finely
forward
tuned cat.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
What's your other cat? Is River, right?
River, yes. It actually is fitting, and River may also need to make an appearance because River got their name from another futuristic sci-fi property.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Probably got canceled really quickly.
Yeah, it was probably so bad it got canceled. It would never be beloved by millions of people or anything.
Stupid.
Sad.
Let's go make another X-Man movie instead. I mean,
Oh no!
No.
Oh, I can hear lawyers drafting letters now. You're gonna receive a sternly worded cease and desist.
Yeah, I definitely didn't just casually avoid dropping the name of that for any such reasons. We're just being careful, covering our bases.
We're fine. The name's fine. We can say the name. It's Star Wars, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Probably.
Your finger on the pulse of
remember.
pop culture. That's them Star Wars movies these crazy kids is all going to nowadays. I seen it, I tells you.
Richard just put on like 40 years right there.
Yeah, you crazy kids, get off my lawn. I need my warming drink.
Get off my asteroid belt, kids!
Okay, can we introduce? I'm gonna request this now, Adam. I want to see what an SRO's extended family looks like because I want to meet Grandpa 5E.
He can roleplay all of them himself.
Yeah.
By Richard.
Grandpa 5E was born 6 generations before, and he was made like 20 minutes before this SRO. There's like several generations in quick succession.
My servos just don't work quite the way they used to. I could use a little bit of a lube job.
Oh gosh, no, he was programmed to be old.
He's a senior therapy droid. He's got to be able to relate to those elderly
He can relate,
folks.
but he cannot remember what everyone was talking about 15 seconds later.
Oh, there's probably a market.
That's kind of
for
sad.
this.
It's like it's a little bit depressing.
Well, they just
like
they
an
only
Alzheimer's
installed
therapy droid.
Yeah, they only installed like this much memory, just the tiniest bit. So
He's
it's
running
just
on
like-
a Commodore 64.
It's cut. I'll have
and
you know
that's
there's
his name, Commodore number
There's
64.
512 megabytes, Adam. 512, and that is enough for anyone.
It's more than I've ever
Ever.
used in my life, personally.
Oh God! Are we gonna play a game? or
All
we're
right,
just
yeah.
gonna
Are
be-
we? What are we doing, Adam?
Is
Are we
this not
starting
the
off where we
podcast?
left off?
This is not the podcast.
We talk about how we're getting old.
Uh-huh.
How pop culture is passing us by.
We reference
Yeah,
TV shows that are 15 years old and think we're hip.
Absolutely. And like you just referenced the fact that I'm gonna have to like put pictures on Twitter. I've never used a Twitter. What's a Twitter?
You will learn. These are the ways.
I will learn. I will learn so I can talk to fabulous, charming, wondrous listeners. Please like us. Anyways,
Speaking of which,
why don't we go ahead and get this thing started then, now that we've left off on that note. And Tundra, I'm going to need to move you out the way for a second.
no, there's the kitty again.
It's not his screen time yet.
Okay.
He's got to wait
That's
for
fair.
the cue. It's all right.
All right. I'm gonna die. Hi.
Not yet. Not yet. Because first, we're going to have to gather round once again, bask in the glow of the data pad as we open the tomes of emergency power once again. Tome 1, Chapter 2. We open on a room with long shadows stretching their tendrils over the arching room of a hollowed hall. There's a profound silence here, disturbed only by the flicker of small fires. Candles line the walls and crowd the room towards its center, creating the effect of a mountainous valley swarmed in torches. Following a winding path through these lights leads to a figure kneeling with bowed head. Their form is covered by an expansive cloak which stops just short of the candle flames. A long, quiet creak speaks of someone entering the room from behind. Respectful steps approach to the very edge of the candle forest. Most ordained commander, forgive my intrusion. It is for a most urgent purpose. Our satellites detected planetary entry from an unknown vessel. Surveillance shows her to have crash-landed at the wasteland's edge, pressed up against the walls of Io. Atmospheric imaging finds no such ship in our database. From all this, I conclude it's from another system, just as you foresaw. The kneeling figure rises slowly to their feet. The wretches of the waste will soon pounce upon the husk and scrap and salvage it.
Cat again. Tundra is the new star of this show.
Absolutely. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. There's now those artifacts that you talked about are all over the screen. Let me see if I can find where I was. The wretches of the waste will soon pounce upon its husk to scrap and salvage. See to it that the ship is recovered intact. Purge those who would desecrate such a holy artifact.
Ooh.
The subordinate's head bows reverentially before replying. I have taken the initiative and sent a platoon to secure the area. Please forgive my intrusion into your sanctuary. I will return to my charge. The cloaked figure listens for the quiet to return. And in the flickering candlelight, their mouth forms a toothy grin.
Oh no.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with us.
No.
I'm gonna
can't
call that
imagine.
guy the
to worry
constable, because that's what that voice invokes for me.
What?
So we're being chased. We're being chased by the constable. What?
Wrong shade of lipstick for the army, I'm afraid.
Oh my.
Well, let's take a step away from that, and we'll take a small step back in time instead.
Great sound effect.
To a crowded space station with a plethora of life forms. Over 2 million creatures trying to get by or trying to get ahead. We swoop in closer to a sector of the station filled with high-rise buildings, corner stores, and touristy downtown areas. Standing near one such store down a crooked alleyway is a hovering brain, contemplative, a sleek, sentient robot organism, and a rodent-like Yosoki. You know them as NR-5E, Pons, and Scrif. Hanging above their heads is a metal sign with lounging neon script that reads, "The Wandering Eye." The small data pad attached to Scrif's arm blinks into life, and a voice chimes in. "You've arrived. I've double-checked that this is definitely the place. The Wandering Eye. Spelled with an O. Seems like a fun play on words. Wandering Eye instead of Wandering Eye. See, the eye is deep in thought instead of lost. Just like us. We should head in, though. Just know when you're in there, I've got your back. Well, I've got your arm. Also, watch out for that vomit on the ground."
Thank you, Cat.
So you're standing outside this building, and what's Cat real quick? You made a reference.
Cat is my virtual intelligence. When I built Scrif, I bought a data pad and I gave it the augmented personality or artificial personality. And so Cat is the name of the personality that lives inside of my data pad. It stands for Cat. It's a techno tool. Is a recursive acronym.
There are absolutely no IT people in this group at all.
IT people don't play RPGs.
No,
No, there's no
too busy-
crossover.
They're too busy huddling around their servers.
Stroking them gently.
Gathering piles of strange energy drinks.
So yeah, Cat is a artificial personality that aids Scrif in his day-to-day duties.
And as you might have surmised, is the voice that you just heard coming from that data pad.
Okay.
Now,
very good.
you had come here because you were looking for a ship to get to Broken Rock. And Broken Rock, being kind of a pirate haven in the diaspora, is not somewhere that ships just travel as their general routes. So you guys have had to search around for a while, and after a few less than subtle threats and a lot of grease in the palms, you managed to get an email, a space email, back to you that said, meet me at the Wandering Eye. So here you are. You found yourself in front of the Wandering Eye. What do you do now?
What type of building is it here? We're just looking at the front door. Is there people going in and out?
This is kind of down an alleyway a little bit. It's a little off the beaten path, but it's still in a fairly good neighborhood, so it's not like you feel overly threatened here. But the door itself has a big tapestry-looking thing hanging on it. It's tie-dye with multiple colors on it, and
Ooh.
you can't see in the windows because they appear to be blocked out.
Are we expected here? Do we have an appointment?
The email you got gave you a general time, so you are expected.
Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult for us to get in.
5E's going to step directly toward the entrance and see if anyone attempts to impede his progress through the door.
And I will follow suit.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of briefly take a pause and see if I can sense any other creatures along the other side. Just with the telepathic... It's not blind sense. What is the specific name for that one? Or is it blind sense?
Reaching out telepathically to feel other minds.
Yeah, I want to see if there's just any guards in the immediate vicinity or people standing right behind it.
What is
just for
this
a second.
ability?
It's for the contemplatives. Yeah, they have a telepathic link. I think it's within 30 feet around them. that they can sense other minds of creatures.
That is so cool.
That's really useful. I'm just gonna have to put all of my worst villains 35 feet behind doors.
Wow.
That is what I
Metagaming
would
much?
expect a giant floating brain to have, to be fair.
Right? No, that's a super cool ability.
Yeah, if you could just like put any enemies within 30 feet of Pons just on the map, that'd be really great. Thanks.
Noted. So you
Now, wait, real quick. Is it blind sense or blind sight? Because blind
it's blind
sight, you can
sense.
actually fight with it. Like if you were to get blinded, it would be as if you could see them perfectly clear.
Yeah, don't contemplatives use their mind to do their surrounding senses anyways?
Yeah, it's
No,
called
they have like dark vision as well, so they have eyes. It's
Just little beady, teeny tiny ones.
yeah. So it's
called blind sense.
Blind sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can sense the thoughts of beings within 30 feet. That's really neat.
So you reach out the tendrils of your mind into this building, and you feel that there is one mind near enough for you to touch it. It doesn't seem to be directly behind the door. It's somewhere within the shop.
Poke.
Okay, so I'll take it that they're at least not guarding or ready for an ambush if we just walk in here. So I'll follow the other's suit as well.
You know,
Hopefully.
like most corner stores, armed guards waiting to ambush anyone who comes in.
Well, yeah, it said it was a store.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
What kind of stuff do they sell here?
Well, 5E, you opened the door and started to head in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so as you step into this small shop, your senses are assaulted by an almost choking amount of burning incense. The walls and floors are lined with hanging charms and brightly colored rugs, and healthy plant vines that intertwine with the colorful tapestries, creating this mosaic of life and fabric. All of it illuminated by black lights that lend an almost ethereal quality to your surroundings. Rounding the corner and ducking under hanging trinkets and reaching flower petals, you find what is presumably the front counter. It's a little hard to tell around here. On the desk is trailing streams of incense smoke rising and swirling. And behind them, an almost skeletal figure is tending tenderly to numerous plants that are hanging. The creature looks more like... It looks like conjoined vines itself, kind of like the surrounding. It almost blends in.
Oh,
And
I think I know what this is.
think you know what it is? Got an idea?
Yeah. Jeff knows what this is.
And a lean figure with stretching limbs and a body accumulating in a seed pod kind of head that gives the appearance of a lantern
What?
is standing there, and
So it's got like a spotlight out of its face?
it kind of looks like it. It doesn't
Huh.
glow light, but it kind of looks almost like a bulb, but you can see like seeds through the transparent skin of the head.
Oh, cool.
And these
Wow.
vestigial vines are reaching up from its back to the ceilings and pouring water on thirsty buds that open in violet petals.
Violent petals.
Violent petals.
The petals start attacking.
Roll for initiative.
Whoa!
Oh god.
That escalated quickly.
This being turns to you and waits with a tranquil air. So, if you guys wanted to know more about this thing, then you could give me
Yeah.
a roll.
Yeah, what
culture
kinda-
roll would probably be appropriate.
Oh yeah, because Scrif is so good at culture. I am not trained in culture, so I can't actually roll.
I am. Let's see.
All right, what you got for me?
I get a massive 10, and that's actually a natural 1. Although I don't think that matters on. That shouldn't matter on a skill check. That's
No.
still
Pretty good
no.
cultural bonus though.
Yeah,
Plus 9?
plus 9. It's impressive.
At
Yeah.
level 1.
That's pretty good.
I-
How about you,
yeah, I'll-
Pons?
I'd like to make one too. I think my initial reaction is wondering if all these instances are gonna go straight to my head. But it's I'll do a culture check as well. And oh, that should have rolled for me. 1 second, sorry about that.
This thing is just kind of
Oh, sorry, my
moving
first
around
one's a
slowly and tending to the vines, touching them gently, making sure they're all perfectly in place, even though you probably can't figure out what their place is amongst this mess.
That was a 21 as I'm kind of inspecting him and trying to see what he's made out of.
All right, so
Nice.
5E, you've seen these things around on the station, but you haven't downloaded any databases on it. So it's just, a creature you've seen in passing. Pons, however, ever the scholar, has done a little bit of research on the
There it
different
is.
creatures that he might encounter in his travels. These are called Khazars.
Yes. Oh man, these things are so cool.
They're really awesome looking. Like, I heavily recommend looking up the art for these guys. They look like just this thin mass of intertwining vines that create these gangly limbs, and their limbs reach all the way down to like the ground, where they have these 2 little fingers, and then they have, like I said, these vestigial hanging extra limbs that, like, they're not quite as dexterous as the regular hands, but it can still do like simple tasks and probably carry like small things. These
It's
guys
basically arms like mine in the sense of kind of the wound, but his is actual vines.
I'm imagining
Yeah.
like a sentient hanging plant basket.
in some ways, yeah. And then it's got that head, which is they got the nickname of Lantern Folk by people who would look at them and be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what that looks like. They are super into communing with nature. They have literally gone to wars to protect planets that have like a thriving natural environment.
That's
So,
so cool. Oh, man.
They're really rad, and they're also these like just really interesting creatures.
They're like if you wanted to play Groot in Starfinder, this is who
Yes,
you would pick.
Absolutely.
okay.
Except, with a lantern for a head.
Yeah, as mentioned though, I don't think it lights up, because that would just make the worst character to try to stealth through places as.
Maybe they can control it. They can like dim the lights.
They
It's
have
a
a little
dimmable.
vine that just like,
like a little switch.
yeah, so this thing turns and just kind of patiently waits for the 3 of you to do what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna like kind of a wiggle, a little like arm thing at it. Like
A little teeny one.
hello, we're looking for passage to Broken Rock. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
We got an email.
Hello.
So, as you say this, you hear in your mind a response.
Oh, good.
Because these creatures like you, Pons, use telepathy as their main form of communication. They don't have a mouth, they have a pod seed for a head. And when it responds to you, it respawns in your voice in your head. So it's almost like
Which
you
one?
know, you're having a conversation with yourself.
Okay.
So it kind of seems to be looking at you, Pons. And it says inside your head, are you the one who got the email? What were your names?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm Pons. That's Scrif over there. Yeah. We just call him.
He pointed at me. Is he saying hello?
It communicates in your own voice that it wants to know who you are so it can potentially further help you to see if, it can.
Yeah, well,
Unit NR-5E. Protective operative.
My name's Scrif. Scrif Dovetail.
It looks down under the counter, and Vines are holding a data pad kind of askew down there, and it touches it with its long, gangly hands. And then it looks back up at all of you and says in again your voice, "The good captain is waiting for you in the Crimson Room." It reaches back and touches the wall with all the vines behind it, and a yellow glow creeps over the vines in the black light flood, and the wall seems to shift as the vines draw away, pulling a tapestry with them. A stairway leading down reveals itself, and the creature stands aside, slowly gesturing for you to enter.
Do we go in?
I'm gonna go pretty fast here. I actually feel like I'm almost like in its environment, and it could just harm us whenever it wants to. So I'm just gonna kind of get out of there.
Okay. I'll head immediately after Pons. Try to at least stay in between Scrif and any danger that may present itself.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
The creature bows its head as you begin to descend the stairs, and it says, "Welcome and enjoy." And the tapestry pulls back into place behind you. Down the stairs is a series of hanging curtains of different colors and shades. A haze of intoxicating smoke overwhelms the room's wheezing air purifier. It's trying really hard.
Wait, there's an air purifier?
Yeah, but it's wheezing. It's like
It's trying
filtration
to
system that could
circulate out all of this smoke, but it can't do it.
All right, I'm gonna go to the output of the air purifier and kind of stand by that. If it's one of those ones that circulates through, and it's like air. Oh goodness, air.
Is it malfunctioning, or is it just that it's not properly sized for this facility?
It is not properly sized. It was never intended to be purifying a room with this much smoke.
We went down into a hookah den.
Yeah, I was
Might
about to say
be some of those vibes in there.
5E
Just
is
a
actually 5E wants to activate his olfactory sensors and see if he can analyze the immediate environment for any threats to his organic compatriots. Would that be a perception?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception for that.
All right. For my robot smell. Oh, a mighty 7. I got one higher on the die than last time. 2's better than 1.
Slowly get there.
Well, you're aware that extended smoke inhalation is bad for bioorganic creatures.
Be careful, Masters. Repeated exposure to carbon monoxide could have some nasty effects on your breathing and your heart rate.
Thank you, 5E.
You
Welcome.
look down the hall, and at the end, you see the Crimson Curtain. There are a few others hanging before there. There's a jade room, a velvet room, and a crimson room.
All right.
But so, as in, there's curtains with all different of those colors, or
Yeah, there's large curtains that are hanging down, separating these 3 different rooms down the hallway.
Okay.
We were, I believe, directed toward the Crimson Room.
yeah, could I do the same thing possibly as I was working on earlier and see if there's other guests in those rooms without disturbing them?
Sure. Now, does this require a perception check, or is this just an inherent thing that happens all the time?
Yeah, so it doesn't have a whole lot under the description of
So,
it. So it's going to be
sense-
under blind sense.
Yeah, blind sense. It's like being able to percept people with an imprecise sense, like
Mhm.
hearing, for example.
Yeah, so I'd say that probably warrants
maybe
a perception roll.
Maybe a little bit more advanced than it, because you can have blind sense hearing. So it would be like a person who has a very advanced hearing sense, except his is with thought.
hmm
All right. Well, we'll see if, you try to use it for finite things if I have you do a roll, but in a place like this with only a few curtains between you and what's beyond, you absolutely sense several other creatures. There's several within each of the rooms, as far as you can tell.
I'd like to peek into the other ones.
All right, which room do you want to peek into? The velvet room, the jade room, or the crimson room?
Let's do the jade room.
As you go into there, I'm like, Pons, I don't think we're supposed to go in there.
I'm just gonna get a slight peek really quick.
Pons, that is not the location of our appointment.
I don't want to disturb them.
Peek in, and you use your little hand to kind of pull it away just a little bit so you can peek in there.
hmm
You see a group of these shrimp-like creatures gently floating in the room. They have these tendrils that are attached to this pipe in the center, and they seem to be floating almost lazily, and one bounces into another, and they just kind of slowly
so stoned.
drift in the other direction.
Okay. Yeah.
Smoke kind of pours out of their little shrimp mouths.
It's gonna turn back and be like, yeah, there's nothing to see in there. Let's go to the other one. Let's try. Little peek.
Okay, you're heading to the velvet room?
Yes.
Your curiosity is going to get us killed, but let's do it.
I'll be very careful. If I need to roll stealth, I'll do it stealthily.
I'm ready.
5e
My-
turns to Scrif and says, "This course of action seems highly inadvisable."
You can roll stealth if you'd like to, or you can kick down the curtains and...
No.
Kick down the curtain.
14. Get down, poke it gently, and then be like, this isn't working. And just toss it to the side of
His
my
little
mind.
vestigial limbs.
Just like a psychic sneaker kick.
It's like it's gonna be like the ultimate trying to pull the curtain thing the right way, and you're just like, it's not working, and then you just yank it as hard as you can. And they're like, ah. It's like a kid trapped in the blinds. Or the curtains.
Okay, so you said 14 on your stealth roll, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you pull apart this curtain enough that you can peer in. And you see what looks like a young adult sitting on a chair. Across from this striking old man with a hawkish long nose and these really intense wide eyes.
Oh.
And he looks up from
No.
his papers on the desk and smiles impishly at you for a second before the curtain, as if on its own, closes itself in front of you. When the curtain waves back open for a moment, the room is empty.
What?
Well, there's
Oh.
nothing in that room. Or if there was, they're gone.
Oh,
Must be a back door.
really glad I didn't follow you.
Well, we're not here to go down that way. Our door is the Crimson Curtain.
Ah, yes. So let's proceed with that one then.
All right, who goes to that curtain?
5E is going to walk on up to the Crimson Curtain because he wants to pull it aside and survey the area to determine whether there are any threats in the immediate vicinity.
All right, you pull open these curtains. And when you pull them aside, you see an insect-esque creature sitting with crossed legs. They have these orb-shaped eyes that take you in as you enter, and a line of teeth that runs down their neck, leading to this heavy leather coat.
Ugh.
They are holding a data pad in one hand, kind of looking at it lazily, and under those arms is a second set of arms that are artificial, you notice right off the bat. One of them is holding a simmering, rolled up leaf. They tilt their head and their nose antennae sway with the movement. And once again, if you wanted to give me a culture check, you can find out what this creature is.
Can I do oh shoot, I don't even have life science. I was gonna say could I do life science, but I don't even have that.
Wow, another nat 1 for a 10.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to update your databases because you're just like walking around. What is that? What is that?
Oh no. Come on, Pons.
That was a 16.
16. Okay.
Not
Not
bad.
great, but all right. Not bad. These things are also fairly common around here, so you'll know what it is. This is a Shirin. Shirin's very
Oh.
common in the Pact Worlds area, which you guys happen to be in. And yeah, they're these... They have fly-like faces with these little antennae that come up. And
They
these...
kind of look like centipedes to me.
They do kind of look like centipedes, and they have like these jaws that have like teeth coming down from them that then extend down the neck.
Yeah.
And they're really interesting. They... I'd love to tell you more about them right now, but
Tell me more.
16's
Tell me what
only
they
gonna
look
get
like.
you...
Give me more of that physical description.
Well, I gave you a lot of that when you guys walked in the room.
So you said
I want
they had
more.
so normal arms, well, normal
Yeah.
for it, and then robotic ones underneath.
Right.
Are they
That-
bigger, or are they
that's-
like the same style as the other arms?
They're of similar shape, and you know that forearms is not particularly common to Shirins, nor is like necessarily body modifications. But this one seems to have gone to great lengths to have a few extra helping hands, as it were.
Okay, I'll at least update both my companions here that they are. You said a Shirin,
Yes.
yeah, and that they're decently common around here.
Do they
But
have
I don't
any
know much more
weapons
than
on
that.
them?
Why don't you go ahead and give me a perception roll?
I feel like 5E would definitely be looking for the same, so I'm going to drop one for him as well.
Absolutely.
That's a 17.
17.
16, so beats me.
All right, you notice that there is a pistol strapped to their left hip, but they don't seem to be in an aggressive position, and they're certainly not reaching for it as you come in.
All right.
and I am going to look at the Sheeran and say, "Good day, gentle person. We're here seeking passage to Broken Rock."
Are you the one that emailed us?
Sit. I see you got my message. Tell me about yourselves. Tell me why you want to go to Broken Rock.
I'll grab a seat.
5E sits as requested, very stiffly.
I'm gonna allow my body to kind of dangle on whatever chairs are available as I'm still basically floating, but everything else is just kind of folded into pieces, like, just like yoga kind of, but it just folds into a pretzel shape.
Much like the hookah lounge that you guys kind of described earlier, there are like cushions and pillows that are just kind of lying around the room so you guys can make yourself comfortable in there.
I'll put a pillow, like, kind of just cling it to the back of my head and then prop it up against a wall. Or brain,
man, I love the imagery of Pons. Just like the simplest things take
really
so
fun.
much effort.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, she just kind of leans back a little bit with her legs still crossed and kind of waits for you to tell her exactly why you would want to go to a place like Broken Rock.
I guess I'll start. So, Scrif will kind of shuffle his self over into a seat and say, I need the money. I'm willing to do something risky, whatever it takes, but I need funds for my research.
She gives a little nod, and what equates to a small smile kind of plays at the corner of her large teeth. And she says, "There's nothing wrong with trying to get a little credits here and there. We're all just trying to get by. But I'm not sure what a SRO would need with credits, so what brings you here?"
Well, whatever course of action furthers Master Scrif's needs, furthers my own. You see, his research is very important to me.
Ah, so you're his bodyguard.
For all intents and purposes, yes, that's correct.
I see.
Scrif will give him a little bit of a side glance as he says that. Not really 100% approving of the relationship that is being denoted there.
Are they also inhaling something from like a table in this room, or?
So they had that, what is essentially amounting to a rolled up cigarette in their hand.
Okay.
Which, yeah, they'll occasionally take drags from during this conversation. She does so as she looks over at you, Pons.
Mm-hmm.
And what is a contemplative doing all the way out here?
Yeah, well, everywhere else I've gone has been kind of, I don't know, standard, run-of-the-mill, not too exciting. So I'm looking for more cultured experience, if you would call it that. I hope to study some of the more underside of this multiverse, and gain a deeper perspective into what creates other beings and their motivations.
Now, why does everyone go ahead and give me a persuasion roll? And all of you can assist. You know, you can decide who you want to be the leader, and then everyone can assist because you all had input on this thing.
Point of order, do you mean diplomacy?
I definitely don't play 5E at all. Yes, please give me a diplomacy.
But I do.
I do have diplomacy. Does anyone else?
No.
I have a charisma bonus. That's like diplomacy, right?
I don't think I
Got
have.
nothing.
Okay, then maybe I should do it. I have skill
a
points
12.
in it.
That's what I have.
I don't have any charisma, but I have skill points in it. Is that right?
Okay, so
That
I
can't be
imagined
wrong.
you have something.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's gonna be the lead on this thing?
I'm not taking the lead. I have nothing in diplomacy.
I've been rolling well.
Yeah, Pons does kind of feel like the talker for the group, so yeah, I'm good with him being lead and assisting.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I also cannot assist in providing a +2 because I rolled less than 10.
Oh,
Oh,
not
no.
a great start. Okay, how about you, 5E?
Oh, I only pulled a 12 on that.
All right, that's an assist. All you have to do is beat a 10, and you get a +2 that you can give to the main talker.
That's
and now
good.
all
We're gonna
we
need
need
it.
is the main talker himself, Pons, the man with the mini mouth.
That was a 9. That's a
For
9.
a grand total of 11. Wonderful. All right.
Better than that. No, same as average. Completely average.
All right. The Sheeran leans back once again and says, I've been a bit rude. I failed to introduce myself. My name is Captain Isban Espa. And as much as I would love to believe that you're simply travelers looking to better yourself in this galaxy, I have to take a bit of precaution before we can go any further. So she reaches into a pocket and pulls out a couple injectors and sets them down on the table.
What is this?
Well, for people such as myself, I can't simply have people like station security or some other law enforcement personnel coming in and trying to lay very completely false accusations on me. So I'm going to have to ask you to partake in... Have you ever heard of Dream Shiver?
Dream shiver.
Is that like when you have a really good dream?
A really bad
Instant.
dream?
Or probably not. I don't think I have.
Would that be a medicine check?
If you wanted to know a little more about it, yeah, you could roll a medicine check.
All right, 5e pulls a 23 for that.
Or is that like when you dream about the best tasting food that you've ever had?
She kind of leans her head to the side again and gives another one of those crooked smiles.
Oh, that's probably what
So-
it is.
Dream
oh,
Shiver. 5e, that was a pretty good roll. So, Dream Shiver is a narcotic. It's common-ish, but it's not exactly something you're gonna find just, by a prescription drug salesman, to be sure. It is very strong, and it is known to cause hallucinations, and it is very addictive.
Okay, yeah. Pons
Legal?
definitely heard dream sugar the first time, so he was very confused.
is this a illegal substance?
It is a highly illegal substance.
That makes sense.
Now, do I know the origins of this substance?
It's a process that was lost during the gap, but it was kind of rediscovered post-gap, and it's a substance that is refined from these spiders, shiver spiders, and they take the toxins, refine it, and put it into an injection for your enjoyment.
You organics have fun with that.
Yeah, so when Captain Isbin Espa suggests this, I'm going to say, well, that may work to clear your suspicions about me and Pons, but what about the SRO?
Well, if he is your bodyguard, as you
Cringes at that association.
have stated, then I feel his partner taking Dream Shiver would be enough to keep everything in check, I think.
If it allays your concerns, Captain Esper, I am currently an autonomous robotic organism. My programming does not oblige me to observe any particular laws or report illegal activity, and so others' consumption or sale of Shiver is totally irrelevant to me. I'm also quite interested in some of the potential medicinal benefits of Dream Shiver. It's a pity the situation that the spider farmers find themselves in nowadays. In the determination of my logic circuits, they'd be better helped by decriminalization and regulation than any heavy-handed enforcement tactics. So you'll find no trouble from me.
Okay, go ahead, give me a roll for that, please. Diplomacy.
Diplomacy?
Absolutely.
That's an 18!
Whoa.
Woo.
My pro-legalization robot.
I can't consume it, but I abide.
Exactly.
So 5E or Scrif, not quite understanding what Captain Espa is laying down, is going to say, I understand, and it's going to take 2 doses, one for him and one for 5E.
Oh
and
my goodness.
Inject both of them.
The
Oh,
cojones on this Yusoki.
all right. And I'm gonna.
Hopefully that will also allay any suspicions, but it was actually a misunderstanding.
That just like brings me back, Adam, to the famous phrase in a different campaign of, "I down it." Just.
So I'll take my dose and I'll take 5E's dose.
Ooh. Okay. So you take the 2 injections on the table, and like you see their brow furrow just a little bit as you pick them up, and you just like give it one of these at the same time on each arm, just like stab into.
Oh, it's strong. It's really strong. I do not advise this.
I admit I've never seen anyone do 2 doses at once. I'm impressed. And your legal arguments are impressive as well, SRO. So
Simply common sense.
Scrif is just like absorbing this into his veins. And as you are looking at this Sheeran, their face starts to contort in these psychedelic, trippy shapes. It's like pulling away and getting way too close. And the room starts to spin.
Can you stop the half of your head from spinning? Because it's making me dizzy.
Master Scrif, I don't believe that was a medicinal grade dose you just took.
Oh, I'm not feeling so good. And he just passes out.
I would like to hand the other dose to 5E, and say, could you get the, like, I can't quite reach. Get right, probably there. Kind of just pointing to the side of my head.
Very well, Master Pons. Do hold still. I don't want to put this in the wrong part of your medulla oblongata.
Oh, it's okay. There's not much feeling up there anyway.
Alright, I fire the injector into Pons's brain. Or, well,
Alright.
just, Pons.
Into all of Pons.
Yes.
All right, now you might notice that I did not have anyone roll fortitude saves on these things, and that's because that was actually something that we took care of beforehand. They didn't know exactly what was happening, but I had them do some saves. So
Yeah.
this dream shiver courses through your mind, Pons, and you start to understand why Scrif is saying these weird things, as you also start to see some weird changes in your reality. But you manage to maintain your consciousness. And the captain starts like a low kind of small chuckle, like, and then it kind of builds to a hearty laugh as they kind of like watch you guys reacting, and she's definitely just looking at Scrif, like nose up in the air, whiskers askew.
I definitely imagine, like, it starts kind of high pitched, and then at the end, the laugh is just like this. So, like, we're just out of it.
This is fine.
Richard just brought up a handmade sign that says, "This is fine."
I think this is where the hallucinations start from last episode, where we saw Scrif on the couch with his siblings. This is where that begins.
Yeah. You kids who were paying attention last time and heard us mention addiction, now you know
Going
what's
on a
happening.
trip
Oh
in
yeah.
time now.
All right, so the captain, like I said, laughs, and like through these tears that start coming to their like multiple eyes, they mention that there's something on board the ship that could potentially help with this poor Yosoki, and that she'll see you at the ship tomorrow, and she gives you the dock information, she gives you the ship number, and is well convinced that you guys are not station security.
Wait, this is gonna last from more than a day for Scrif?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
So the effects will only last so long, but the addiction
Okay.
that now has taken hold of Scrif will last
Because
quite a bit
I'm
longer.
addicted.
No.
Yeah, so he passes out for like 4 hours. But yeah, I'm now addicted to Dream Shiver, guys.
That's not good.
Hooray!
Is this episode basically just going to shake out to be Fear and Loathing in the Diaspora?
You can't go here. This is backcountry.
I wish I had thought of that. That would have been amazing. It also would have been a whole lot easier to just rip off another intellectual property and rewrite it. But no, this is a custom campaign.
That's right.
All original. No tropes.
All right, so as Scrif lies unconscious, head back, nose in the air, kind of leaning against 5E, we're going to move through time in a stream of incense and narcotic smoke, passing through the smoke of a den to the smoke of a burning spacecraft. The corpses of small, vicious space goblins that assaulted the crew lie motionless on the ground at the feet of the passengers of the Stella Delar. A strong wind has begun to pick up, buffeting the bodies with grains of sand. And Pons floats back from the group in the ship drawing from his backpack a personal audio data recorder.
So, yeah, Pons is just a little bit away from the group here. As he pulls out this like little recorder. Log 1, day 1. Upon the stall at Dalar toward Broken Rock Station, we just jumped out of light speed when my headache just acted up again. I was able to find adequate material aboard to scratch my frontal lobe and temporal lobes, alleviating some of my pestering pain. I noticed the cargo ship violently shake when the Captain Bug Lady announced that we had taken fire. This confirmed my suspicion that ships shouldn't feel so unstable when coming out of the drift. From inside my containment shelter, I heard a 5E and the mouse man Scrif talking about finding an escape pod. However, we continued to take fire and eventually we warped back into light speed. We obviously had taken too much damage. Our ship basically became a tin can in a tube sock as darkness and the ripping of metal flooded my peripherals. I heard Scrif mumbling about choking Cheddar. I theorized this is probably one of the names of his siblings, due to the fondness in his tone. Anyway, I digress. Next thing I remember, we were on land with our ship up in flames with a light overhead cast of a bluish hue on the sediment. After coming to our senses, we immediately were ambushed by 3 small space goblins. The ensuing fight was a series of unfortunate events, as the smoke made it very difficult to perceive the enemies. After Scrif tried petting the goblins to death, I was able to reduce the foe's brain to mush with my psionic powers. As the smoke cleared, a strange being in the distance decided to wave hello with an arm I believe not to be as of his own. The creatures of this planet are strange. I don't believe we're very safe here. Log date 1 out.
That's just a Klingon hello. Nothing to worry about.
Our
Why
first
doesn't,
glimpse into the mind of Pons.
Yes.
Why don't you guys go ahead and give me a perception to see if you overhear him talking into this recorder?
Oh man.
Ooh, 22.
17.
Is there anything you would like to add to the Pons recap? The Pons
No.
ponderings, if you will.
Either of
I-
us?
Yeah, was there anything I said wrong or you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I mean, you might have glossed a little bit over my own contribution to bonking goblins, but I'm not going to argue too much. I mean, it's...
Script's gonna come up from behind and be like, "Oh, it's the cheddar chokehold."
Cheddar chokehold. Just get that down.
Master Pons, if you'd like me to begin recording video and audio feeds of all of our escapades, I could ascertain that your logs will be a little bit closer to absolute veracity in the future.
No, it's quite all right. It's just an old habit. I prefer to them to be in my own voice and, do it on the fly.
Very well. Recording disabled.
So are we gonna follow that guy?
Well, I don't think I actually noticed them. I recall my perception was pretty low.
Yeah, mine was pretty rocking, though. I think I'm the one that picked that up. Pointed out to
Yeah.
you, if not.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you recall, this being was in the fire that was just raging on top of the Stella Dalar, and you saw it for just a flicker of a second, and then it appears to vanished. You can look around if you want, because as the Pons was doing his recording, the flames on the Stella Dalar started to subside a little bit, revealing the true extent of the damages.
Well, I think first thing we should do is salvage anything that we can from the wreckage and from the goblins, because we might have to make quite a long trek to get to any kind of civilization.
That makes sense.
I'm assuming that this ship is not in any kind of repairable condition. Is that correct?
You can give me an engineering roll if you'd like.
I would love to give you an engineering roll, because I'm actually fairly decent at that. 19.
Nice. Okay. I've put a box of goblin loots on the map for you there. You can go ahead and open that up, see what you got.
Well, yeah, I bet there's lots of really, really cool stuff in the goblin loot, because goblins are known for their high culture and artisanry.
Look, we've got unstable junk lasers for everyone, and dog slicers, and oh hey, so we got some standard batteries.
Okay,
I'll take one of those.
Yeah,
batteries.
those are probably useful.
I will take a battery, actually. So, fun fact, the dog slicer is the one-handed weapon, and the two-handed goblin weapons are called horse choppers.
Yeah,
So creative.
are there space horses?
Yeah,
They're space
this
horses.
is the space horse chopper.
Space horse chopper.
New band name. I called it.
Is that the name of this group? You guys are the space horse choppers?
No.
No.
I do love they're like, ooh, there's items, batteries. Those are the best thing in this whole place. All right.
I mean, I guess we should take the other stuff and try
Now,
and sell
I will take one unstable junk laser just in case it becomes useful in some way later.
Yeah, and the dog slicers, despite their ridiculous names, are basically just like small one-handed weapons. So if you guys need something along those lines,
would
not
that
the
allow
worst
me
choice.
would that allow me to do damage if I run into the circumstance like I did earlier where I didn't have a weapon on hand?
it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you attacked with archaic damage, which is
I attacked
it doesn't
with my
get
brain.
through modern armor, and so dog slicers would actually cut through
Okay.
that.
Really, a dog slicer's not considered archaic. That's
I know,
interesting
right?
to me.
Do I just drag and drop?
Yep.
Yeah, from the loot crate to your inventory.
Okay.
Once again, the ease of use through Foundry Virtual Tabletop.
Thank you, Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Blee, 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 blee.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Foundry Virtual
Tabletop.
Is
Tabletop,
anyone on-
Bagel Top.
Oh man, I want some bagels now. Why would you do this?
Is anyone gonna take this battery?
I got one of them.
Where am I supposed to find bagels at this hour?
Scrif, did you want this other battery?
I already grabbed one.
Okay, I'll take it.
But I'll take it if no one wants
I don't
it.
know if I
Everyone
need one.
roll fortitude against wanting bagels.
If you, Coop, if you've got an energy weapon, chances are good that it requires batteries as ammo.
Yeah, it's usually, unless it's like a kinetic one, which fires just regular bullets, then yeah,
the
it's probably needs
ballistic.
batteries.
Okay, yeah, because you use a semi-automatic tactical pistol, and that does take bullets rather than the batteries.
Okay,
I'll take
okay.
the other one if nobody else needs it then.
Yeah,
'cause-
I've got 3 batteries now. I'm good.
Oh, okay, never mind. Good,
Okay.
good.
So, you guys start looting these goblins and taking what little useful items they have, which, with their junky outfits, it's surprising that you guys even managed to get that much off them. But it also gives you more time to kind of look at the surroundings now that the fires really started to die down.
I was wondering if I could even just toss out a survival check to see if I could determine a trail of that thing we saw in the flames.
Go ahead and give me a survival check, absolutely.
Alrighty.
While you do that, I'm just going to tell you kind of the surroundings.
Okay. Survival 19.
Ooh.
Please
Nice.
So, as you look at the wreck of the Stella Dolar, you notice that it's missing just large chunks. They seem like they've been just shorn off the sides. And it's wedged up against a massive metallic structure that's now really coming into view now that the smoke is not hazing everything. The area that impacted into this large structure has been crumpled in And the only thing that looks like it's still more or less intact is the ship's nose. And as you look along the length of this metallic behemoth structure, your line of sight just goes out to the horizon following this thing on both of its outstretching directions. And to the sky, it looms with this kind of curving silhouette, and a large, jagged crack reaches down, like right where the ship is wedged up against it. It's at this time that 5E's systems finish processing data from observations made before the fight, as well as the survival check that he just made right now. There are scarce pieces of information that you've kind of been able to put together. Your readout says environmental data, habitable planet with moderate temperatures, potential danger of localized dust storms. Astrological data reads input compared to stored star maps, system not found, further input required. One last piece of information that will kind of come from the survival check is when you were in that fight, you remember one goblin turned towards the open desert and seemed to yell out towards it. You couldn't really see it yelling at anything, but it did make a call out towards the emptiness. As far as looking for footprints, where are you looking exactly?
Let's see. The goblins came at us from the southeast, correct? Because they were attacking us up the embankment?
Yes, correct.
All right. Then I'm probably checking... Let's see.
From the direction they came, right?
Well, he's looking
Say what?
for the figure and any
Yeah.
prints it might have left, as opposed to the goblin.
And so
Gotcha,
if it came, if it was in the flames, I'm probably scanning around the ship like in an arc this way, and going out to the limits of visibility.
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of heading around like the broken engine, and just kind of checking around the perimeter of the ship.
Correct. Now, is this entire blocked off room sequence here the interior of the broken ship? Okay, I see what's going on now. And this is the port thruster that's on fire.
Right, the rear of the ship is on fire, and again, the nose looks more or less intact.
Okay,
So,
yeah, then...
as you search around looking for any signs of this being that was in the flames, you do find a pair of footprints that lead into a cracked open section of the front shield of the ship. So right near the nose, there's just an open area.
Okay, you're talking about the gap on the northwest side?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Right.
one of the entrances is completely just crushed in by the impact, and it's completely impassable. And this seems like the only way you can really find into the ship from here.
All right.
I would like to see if there's anything worth salvaging on the exterior of the ship.
All right, go ahead and give me another engineering roll. Did I ever answer your first engineering roll?
No. We can use that one if you want. That one was better. That one was a 19. The one I just caught was a 10.
All right, well, fortunately, the question you asked was very related to the first one. So, the ship looks absolutely torn apart, and it does not look like it could be easily repaired to be in working order again. And the fires of the electronics in this ship that have just lit up the whole thing have destroyed most of the useful smaller components, at least in the exterior area that you're examining. So there's very little that you could actually pull off and have be useful to you.
Is this thing in any danger of, like, exploding?
It seems like the explosion has exploded as much as it's gonna explode.
Okay, good. That's probably the most important thing.
That
Been
makes
done.
us all feel a lot better, I think.
Yeah,
It's
you
already
can
done
see that,
exploding.
like, anywhere that contained explosive gases or that, those are already ruptured and have contributed to the blaze.
Like, the drive core isn't just gonna, blow or anything if we stick around this ship.
Doesn't seem
And-
like it from your assessment.
All right. So I'll notice that 5E seems to have caught on to something. 5E, do you have something there?
I'll calm back. Affirmative. I'm not certain what star system we're in, but I believe that the goblins called for help. Whether that's connected to the being that I saw in the flames, who can say? But there are trails back here. Tracks leading into the nose of the ship. We may need to scan the wreckage for survivors.
Does anyone want to take a 10-minute rest before we go in?
I mean, I can if you guys want to. I think all I lost was a little bit of stamina last time. I wouldn't mind being at full.
Just
I-
my concern being at level 1, we don't have much health.
Sure.
Doesn't take much to drop us, so I'd kind of rather be at full to go in
Yeah,
there.
I think you guys
I
have, like, your
agree.
highest stamina is like a 7.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
Pons at one point has used, I think, 2 mind thrusts, so if he can recoup any of his power, it would be good.
I
to
don't
rest
think
for a little bit.
spells come back with a 10-minute
Yeah.
rest.
You'd need
Fortunately.
a full long rest to get those precious spells back.
All the more reason to be at full health, though.
Yeah, I lost 4 stamina. Yeah, it's like a third of my health.
All right, so everyone sits down, kind of takes stock of the situation, and takes a breather. During this time, again, the flames continue to subside until there's only a few scant ones remaining on the ship. The winds that are blowing the sands around seem to have put them out fairly well. They've also battered you a little bit while you were resting, but nothing has come out of the sand during this 10 minutes. What do you do now?
Should we clear the ship first or investigate the disturbance?
I would definitely say that we should clear the ship, although if no one's come out of there in almost 20 minutes, I'd imagine there's not any survivors. Just to be sure, though, in case they're unconscious. Let's clear the ship first.
Very well.
I will follow your lead.
5E draws his weapons and heads toward the entrance.
Yeah, I'll do the same with the pistol. Walking around the thruster over to that little gap.
Checking to see. Can't really see in there, seems like.
That's the
Nope.
area that is crumpled in on itself. The opening is towards the nose of the ship.
Okay.
Oh,
and we've got to
okay.
make our way around. Okay, yeah, because you said that was the only opening. That's near where the tracks are.
Indeed.
Post up here, just make sure I don't see anything fishy before I proceed.
All right. Looking into the ruptured shielding screen of the cockpit, lights flicker dimly, and a holographic screen shorts in and out. There's a little bit of smoky haze within there, but as far as you can tell, it seems empty.
Hello? As I'm gonna walk into the center of this first room. Do I sense anyone?
You don't sense anyone in the nearby area, no. But go ahead and, as you come into this cockpit, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
It's gonna be a 15.
Okay. So again, the electronics in this room seem to be functioning in a very limited capacity. Still seems to be some energy coming from somewhere. The door in front of you is jammed halfway open. And as you look under the door, you see that there is a trail of dark liquid leading further into the ship.
Oh.
And we'll see you in chapter 3.
Oh!
Fine.
But I wanted to use life sciences to identify the liquid.
My first thought was, oh no, it is explosive, and then I thought, oh, it'd be blood.
It's just liquid candy, guys.
Oh,
Pons, lick it!
Hey, Norm, if you found liquid candy on the
Hi,
floor of an
everybody.
exploded spaceship,
Thank you very much for once again joining us, and we will see you in the next chapter.
hi.
Bye, fellas.
When life drains you down, charge up on the Emergency Power Network. Theme song Triangles by Diamond Ace. Find them at bandcamp.com. Music provided by Nicholas Judy of Dark Fantasy Studio at darkfantasystudio.com and Tabletop Audio. Find them at tabletopaudio.com. Font Azonics by Mixo. Find them on Twitter at MixoFX. Narrated by Jenny Lee Collins.